Hey everyone, Teo here. This is my handwriting and note-taking review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 FE. I only have the 10.9-inch FE. I do not have the 13.1-inch FE Plus. First of all, disclaimer, this is not a sponsored review unit. I have purchased this tablet for the purpose of making this video. So if you guys have intention to buy this tablet after watching the review, consider supporting my YouTube channel and the work that I do here by making your purchase through the affiliate links that I have for you in the video description below. And if you are buying through Shopee SG, you can click through the Shopee links below and you can get a Shopee voucher up to 30% off credited to your Shopee account. I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the Samsung S Pen, which is included with the tablet. So this pen actually uses Wacom EMR technology. Because this pen uses Wacom EMR tech, other pens that use Wacom EMR tech are also compatible with this tablet. The pen performance is going to vary slightly with the other pens, but the experience is going to vary more depending on the design of the pen. For example, with the Samsung S Pen, there is one side button here and no eraser. This Wacom One standard pen has two side buttons. This Staedtler Norris Digital Jumbo has no side button but one eraser at the back. Do not buy the Samsung Creator Edition S Pen because the pen tip is not available even after 1 or 2 years of launch. This is the Pilot Dr. Grippy pen, which features a retractable design, but there is no side button. Wacom One pen with one side button. This is the Wacom One standard pen. This is the Wacom One pen. And lastly, there is the Lamy Safari with one side button, and this is the only pen with a cap. The Samsung S Pen is a really good pen, so you don't actually need to buy other pens if you do not need extra or spare pens. So this pen is not powered by battery, so no charging is required, and you do not need to pair this pen with Bluetooth to the tablet to use it. This pen supports 4000 levels of pressure sensitivity, and there is tilt sensitivity. So this is with minimal pressure, with heavy pressure, and with tilt for the extra broad strokes. Palm rejection works really well, so you can place your palm on the display and write, and you will not be able to introduce any straight strokes. In fact, if you try to draw with your finger, you cannot draw anything as well. Now, palm rejection may not be enabled by default with certain note-taking apps, so if palm rejection doesn't work, you may have to enable palm rejection from the settings from the app first. One thing I really like about the Samsung S Pen compared to other pens is it comes with a soft tip, so it works really nicely. Because when you're writing and drawing, there is no tapping sound, and this soft tip also provides some resistance so that the pen tip is not that slippery on the glass surface. This pen tip is considered firm, so this pen tip has no movement when writing on the glass display. And notice this display is laminated, so when writing, there is almost no gap between the line beneath and the pen tip. Yep, so there's almost no gap. One thing you may have noticed is this display is very reflective, and Samsung actually does sell an anti-reflective screen protector for the Tab S10 FE and FE Plus. So if you want to minimize the reflections, I would recommend you get the anti-reflective screen protector, which actually works really well. I do not have it on my tablet, but I do have it on the phone, so you can see on the phone, even with the reflections on the display, I can still see the text very clearly. But on the tablet, well, it's kind of difficult to see the text beneath the reflections. Having the side button on the pen can be quite useful and convenient. So in this case, for this app, the default setting for this button is to erase. For Samsung tablets, the side button is usually customizable, but for tablets from other companies, sometimes the side button is not customizable. For example, if you're using a pen from Xiaomi, Huawei, or Lenovo, the side button on their pens is actually locked to using shortcuts from the OS. But for Samsung S Pen, you can customize this button with note-taking apps. Another thing that I really like is this pen is able to capture my handwriting style quite accurately. Oops, let me just erase that. It is actually quite difficult to write and talk at the same time. Okay, next let's talk about the design of this tablet. So this is the 10.9-inch Tab S10 FE. And since I do not have the 13.1-inch Tab S10 FE Plus, I'm going to use a stand-in for that. And it's this Lenovo IdeaTab Pro that I have with a 12.7-inch display. So this display is going to be slightly smaller than the Samsung tablet, but I would say the size is close enough. So let's compare the display sizes to an A5 size sketchbook. So let me place this on the Samsung tablet, and you can see the tablet is noticeably taller, slightly wider. And with this sketchbook, which is A5 size, on the 12.7-inch, this display is noticeably bigger. And the 13.1-inch Tab S10 FE Plus is going to be even bigger. 10.9-inch is actually more than big enough for note-taking. So when I scale the width of the page to 100% on this tablet and also on this tablet, you can see that yes, the page is bigger, the text is bigger, but the text is not significantly bigger compared to the smaller tablet, even though the tablet size is noticeably bigger. Advantage of a larger display is you can use split screen mode more effectively, and a larger display will work better as a wireless external display. And a larger display will also work better with apps that have lots of user interface elements, especially if you use drawing apps such as Clip Studio Paint with palettes on the left and right. For reading PDFs, 11-inch is big enough, the text is still big enough. For reading magazines, well, some of the text for magazines can be quite small, so maybe 13-inch would be better. The S Pen can snap to the side of the tablet, and it can also snap to the back of the tablet. If you want to keep the pen here, you should get a case that can go over the pen, and Samsung does sell those cases. And the camera bump here is not that big, so if you place the tablet on the table for writing, it will wobble slightly, but not that much. If you are right-handed and using the tablet vertically, you should place the camera on the left side so that your writing hand will not block the camera and affect the auto brightness. And if you place the tablet like this, the camera bump will actually be at the bottom left. So this is very stable. This does not wobble at all. If you are left-handed, the camera bump will be at the top right, and this is actually still quite stable. But of course, ideally, you should get a case to put behind so that the tablet is completely flat. There are many capable note-taking apps available from the Google Play Store, and for this review, I will use Note-In. This app has many useful tools and features. There is also Google Drive syncing and double tap undo. The handwriting and note-taking experience is fantastic because Samsung tablets are great for note-taking, as the pen is sensitive and accurate, so the pen can capture the handwriting style or my handwriting style very accurately. The refresh rate of this display is 90 Hz, and this is the pen latency performance. So I can see the line chasing the pen tip, but latency performance really varies depending on which app you use. Generally speaking, latency is not an issue, so I don't really notice latency while I'm writing unless I'm looking out for it specifically. And this app is Concepts, and the latency performance here is really good, so I can barely see the line chasing the pen tip. So as I draw this long sweeping line, it looks like the line is coming out from directly beneath the pen tip. Alright, to conclude, this pen and tablet is great for taking notes, Anyway, nowadays, for many of the Android tablets out there that come with official pen support, you can expect fantastic handwriting and note-taking experience from those tablets as well. So the main advantage with the Samsung tablets is the S10 is not powered by battery, so no charging is required, and you do not need to remember to charge the battery, and you don't have to worry about battery damage. And because this is using Wacom EMR, you have the option to buy other pens with Wacom EMR that can work with this tablet. The third advantage is the pen button is customizable. So pens from other companies may not let you customize the side button. And the last advantage is the soft pen tip is wonderful to write with. So I'm going to give the handwriting and note-taking experience an easy A+.